Coach, of course, second game of the back-to-back. Not the results I'm quite sure that you and your teammates wanted tonight, but can you talk to me about what you've seen, not only from JK, but from Steph, mainly in the second half? 60 points, almost a career high. Talk to me about what you've seen from that gentleman.
Well, Steph was incredible. I mean, what a performance. I just feel so bad for him and for our guys because they're battling. Obviously, we're shorthanded and back-to-back, and I thought we really competed like crazy the whole game, and just couldn't get over the hump. But Steph was sublime.
Do you know anything on Wiggins yet?
He sprained his foot, but I don't know anything beyond that.
It's foot, not ankle.
From what I understood from Rick, it was his foot. But
X-rays negative. Gotcha. How big was the Kuminga foul out? Considering you mentioned the depth being an issue.
Yeah, the JK foul out was really it was important, and it was kind of head scratching, but I just didn't see a foul, but that was the call.
Coach, going into the last week before All-Star, what do you want your players to focus on?
Just continue to compete. They're competing. They're playing together. Just got to keep moving forward. Thank you.
What do you think was kind of deciding factor in overtime?
They got stops and we didn't. I think they stretched it out to maybe an 11-point lead, start overtime, and it's pretty hard when it's only 5 minutes to come back from 11-point deficit. And so I think just a mixture of us fouling and not making shots on the other end is probably what led to the loss.
When Steph has a night like this, 60, and you obviously lose, is it an added layer of kind of stings to in some ways kind of waste what he did?
Of course. He's the best point guard to ever play the game, and to see him have 60 and be super efficient and, not get the calls like other superstars get in the league, it's pretty impressive. Only 6 free throws and 60 points. So that was amazing to see, but you always want to, come out with a victory in those situations because, you only get to be around it for so long.
When you see him score 60 points, how do you focus in on the game and not get caught up in being a fan?
For me, honestly, just rebounding your defense. When he's in that mode, you kind of know that he's probably going to shoot the shot. And so for me, it was just kind of rebounding and, playing team defense and how we could get stops and get him the ball back. And I think that's kind of the mindset we all kind of have, just like how can we get him open and let him keep flowing the way he does.
Dre, of course, the second game of a back-to-back, tough overtime loss tonight out there. You've been a defensive specialist in this year for a long time, well-respected on the defensive end. Going up against a guy like Trae Young, can you talk to me about the matchup issues he brings, being a great facilitator and scorer?
Yeah, they run a lot of sets where he has the ball most of the game, and just kind of put him in positions to make decisions. And that's why he is who he is in this league. He's been doing that really well for a long time now.
Draymond, you've seen your fellow teammate and Steph drop 60 tonight. We've seen 60 from Cat, and Luka hit last week 73. Do you think this is a trend that's going to happen to where about once a week we're going to see guys scoring 60-some points?
The game is played at a very fast pace nowadays. So get up and down a lot, get a lot of shots up, and you got a lot of great scorers in this league. So wouldn't necessarily call it a trend, but the skill is in this league is at an all-time high. That's for sure.
Obviously, I know you played with Trae. Played with Steph for a long time. Your thoughts on this stage in his career, playing the game that he had tonight, dropping, I guess it was almost 50 in the second half?
You kind of, it's crazy because you kind of grow accustomed to him having those types of games and types of nights and halves. He can get it going at any time. But it's just a testament to his hard work. You know, the work that he puts in on his body on a daily basis, you know, and it shows in these moments, you know, and just seems like he continues to get better, which is special at this age.
Did you feel like you guys were a little fatigued down the stretch, or I mean, do you think that had anything to do with it?
I mean, you know, everybody's fatigued on the back-to-back down the stretch. I think, you know, and losing Wiggs the whole second half and then losing J.K. Down the stretch was tough. You know, those two guys are our main point of attack defenders, you know, and so I think losing those two guys, you know, made it tougher, and, you know, the fatigue shows a little bit more, I think, with those two guys out.
What you got a little time with Trace tonight. What type of dimension does he provide, and how does that help you particularly?
Well, I got to get used to playing with him because, you know, he does a good job of protecting the rim, and I still find myself sliding over and he'll be there, you know, and so kind of got to build that feel and that trust. But rim protection, it's a good rebounder, and then, you know, a lob threat, you know, or you know, drop the ball off to him in the paint and he can get the ball up quick and finish, you know. So I think he brings a different dimension to this team that we otherwise don't have.
Yeah, I mean, the identity that you guys are kind of trying to build seems to be a lot of you at center, but are there nights or even moments within the game where you're thinking that, like, you know, having an extra big out there can help?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it depends on what the game calls for, you know, and whatever that is, we trust Steve to make those decisions. He usually make the right one.
Coach, Jonathan Kuminga has been on a crazy scoring stretch. I think the past 7 games he scored above 20 points. He gave us a lot of trouble when we matched up in Golden State. And that's the type of archetype we typically struggle against. So what do you think worked particularly well tonight, holding him to just 16 points?
I think, you know, guys that were on him, you know, we had a few different matchups on him, but primarily, you know, JJ, Hunt guarded him some too. And I thought we did a better job of not giving ground, you know, and keeping our feet. When we were there, you know, he was driving the ball so effectively, and he's so strong that he's able to create space. And I thought our guys did a better job of just leveling him off and not giving ground. And we also kept our feet, you know, a number of times when he's shot faking and he steps around you, we didn't stand up and we didn't go for those fakes, and that was a big part of it as well. You know, and I think our effort defensively, you know, it's hard to say that when Steph Curry does what he did, but those weren't easy baskets. You know, it's difficult to contain him when you're fighting through 2-3 screens. And if he has, you know, some of those shots were contested from behind, some of them were contested, you know, with our bigs. And then you start standing up and he drives by you. But I thought collectively our defense, there was a focus, and especially late. You know, you could kind of feel our guys come together defensively late.